First of all, welcome to the Breakfast Club and Carrot Bars International. We will be spending the morning here, half hour, 40 minutes probably, with updates and some exciting information about KB. So that being said, there are two things you need to know. One is 5-star will raise your hand on a board that I am looking at, and it will say and tell us that you have a question. If you'd like to do that at any time, just press 5-star. I cannot guarantee the order in which we will take them because I don't know when they should. I'm not constantly looking, and it doesn't tell me who's number one and whatever. But 5-star on your telephone keypad will raise your hand, at which time we can unmute your line and you can ask your question. When you ask your question, and this is part 2, just identify yourself, and your first name is all that is necessary, and address your question to the person you would like to answer it, or a general question, and we'll decide who's going to answer it, whatever. If you have a question for somebody specifically, please handle it that way. And we try to keep this call to questions and not comments and opinions and so on. They're nice to have, and they're great for testimonials, but on this particular call, we don't have a lot of time for that. So once again, the other people who are joining us now, the tones are off. We cannot hear you entering, but I do see a number of people who have just joined. And what I'm going to do, Joe, is something very different this morning, is I'm going to open up the first person who asked a question. Agaja, we are going to open your line, and why don't we say good morning to you, welcome to the Breakfast Club, and address your question to the person that you would like to answer. Morning.
Good morning, Joe. I'm sorry, I raised my hand. I was hitting the wrong button.
You're going to be punished. You'll need to go to the back of the room and stand in the corner for about 10 minutes.
Thank you so much. I observe better.
Thank you, sir. Can I have another?
All right, there we go. I'm going to go ahead, Agaja, and mute your line again. I think I just did that. I'm trying to. There it goes. We're good to go. All right, so with that being said, if you have a question, please 5-star on your telephone keypad. That'll do it, and we'll be good to go. Everyone else is muted. The line is muted when you come in, so we're good to go. So for everyone else that joined us, good morning. Joe Norman, I'm going to go over to you for some updates, some instructions, some information, and we'll see if we have any questions come up. And anyway, good morning to you as well.
Good morning, Joe, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your holiday season to join us here on the Breakfast Club today. I've been on a holiday tour myself, visiting family all over the Midwest here. I am back home. I'm going to be leaving here shortly to take one of my daughters to the airport, and my oldest daughter tomorrow, and then starting Saturday I'll be back to normal. So we are very, very excited about 2012. Guys, we have just a tremendous opportunity where we are picking up momentum. Just an example of the momentum our company is picking up is our company actually signed a licensing agreement with the Vatican, and that is evident by the fact that we now have customized Pope John Paul product card that we have available now through our back office, and I don't know how you can obtain more credibility than having the ability to tell people our company has a licensing agreement with the Vatican. I mean, are you kidding me? You think any other company in the direct sales industry can say that? And if they can, you can probably count them on one hand. So that's just a recent example of more just like that are coming in the future. I cannot share. I have a understanding of some of the things that they're working on and some of the entities that they're working with, and all I can tell you guys is it is nothing short of startling, to the point where they're even considering spinning off an additional company just to handle the licensing division. I mean, my goodness, we can do customized carrot bars for schools, for churches, for business entities, for institutions. Can you imagine the first affiliate that cracks the market with Division I football in the South? I mean, can you imagine an Alabama Crimson Tide Carrot Bar customized with their colors and logos? How about Texas Longhorns? How about Georgia Bulldogs, LSU Tigers, and then you go out west? I mean, the list goes on and on. And can you imagine the money that's going to roll in with the first affiliate that cracks NFL football, NBA basketball? How about soccer worldwide? All of those markets are wide open, guys. And if you have just one or two of those accounts in your organization, someone in your organization has brought those in. Imagine the points that's going to generate. Imagine what that's going to do for your income. And that's just one market. You factor in the facts of what has actually occurred in our economy worldwide, and especially here in the United States and Canada. I actually took some notes on a seminar I attended recently. I had some downtime waiting on some family to get here, so I went ahead and attended a seminar and just got some awesome statistics. And I'm going to, if it's okay, Joe, I'm going to just take a few minutes and share with everyone that's with us today some of these things that are just going to curl your hair.
Joe, before you do that, I want to ask a question, and hold that thought for a second.
Okay.
And I want to ask Dr. Denis, who is unmuted. Can you hear me, Denis?
Yes.
All right. I want Joe. On Tuesday morning, we had a discussion on an explanation of what Carrot Bars International was about, and Denis gave a simple explanation. There are some new people on the call, and Denis, if you could, would you, before we go into Joe's information, would you tell us what Carrot Bars International is about and the importance of having gold from our company?
Yeah, I would, and I just want everybody to when I did this, Dan came back and said, yeah, you have the elephant story. It is. This is so big. My concern always is if we go for the how big is it, we lose a lot of people who get scared and confused. As opposed to if we go with the simple basics of it, we get to the same result, only we bring everybody along in the boat. So this is my simple little view of it. That's all. And then it translates into, okay, now what do you do? So the way I looked at it, what we said is this. And I know this is simplistic. I know it's only one piece of the whole big picture of this thing. But Carrot Bars International, at its very, very simplistic basics, is this. It's a place where the average person can actually purchase and protect their assets, highest quality gold, and then we can leave the rest of that explanation out, but the highest quality gold at a level that is affordable to virtually everybody, without going into all the details. So Carrot Bars International provides a vehicle for people to protect their assets and also, by referral, to grow their assets in a way that protects against the craziness of the economy in today's world. If you want to know about something like that, listen to this and look at that. If you decide to move forward, there's only two paths that divide in this wood. Do you want to protect, or do you want to protect and gain by referral? The method is simple. So we're now to the next step in this whole thing. It's all about register and purchase to protect, and register, purchase, and refer to gain. The gain beyond just the thing itself, which is unique, which is to protect your asset by making purchases, is a way of gaining, I guess. But I think it's simple for me. So, Joe, I'll say it really simply. Carrot Bars International, to me, is a wonderful vehicle for people to purchase the highest quality gold in small bullion weights that virtually anybody can afford, that allows people to protect what they've gained in their life so far, and by referral, they can also gain wealth the same way, and that wealth is in the most stable form it could be, that is in the form of the carrot bars. So that's it
Okay,
to me.
Thanks. Now, let me make this statement before we go back to you, Joe. This call is being recorded, and it is available. I'm going to unlock your line, Terry.
Line unmuted.
Where this is available. And so you can go back and you can make notes on what Dr. Steigerwald just said, and that's basically what you tell someone when they say, what is Carrot Bars International? Why is this company so important? And so, Terry Whitener, would you tell us where and when this is available to hear what Dr. Steigerwald and the rest of this call?
Okay, it will be ready about an hour after the call is over, and it'll be posted in the Skype rooms. It'll be in the KB Gold Savings Account Facebook account. I'll post a link into the Team One site for the global site for everyone. So it'll be posted in several different places, and it takes about an hour or so after it's done to get all the encoding and everything done.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Terry Whitener. Appreciate it, Terry. We
Line muted.
very much for the work that you do in recording these calls and many other calls that become available for people's education. So thanks again, Terry. So Joe Norman, back to you.
Okay, Dr. Denis really piqued my interest in pursuing that, and what he just did, I call that, and I didn't come up with the phrase, but Hilton Johnson said, it's called an elevator speech. You know, you get on an elevator and you're going up 10, 15 floors, and the person next to you says, "Hey, how you doing?" And you say, "Doing all right." And, well, what do you do professionally? And what Hilton Johnson has come up with is brilliant, and you can use this at holiday gatherings, anytime you're around people and you strike up a conversation, and they ask you, "What do you do?" You tell them this, and this you need to sear into your conscience and your DNA, and it's two phrases. Do you know how? And what I do is this. Do you know how people are concerned about the economy? Do you know how people are watching their 401ks turn into 201ks? Do you know how the Federal Reserve continues to run up debt? Do you know how, whatever you want to use with do you know how? That encourages their participation. They have to answer. You have to ask them a question. Do you know how people are really concerned about their IRAs? Well, what I do is show them how to protect their IRA so they won't lose any money. Or do you know how the Federal Reserve's printing money like a drunken sailor? Well, what I do is show people how to not get hurt by that. You just fill in the blank. Do you know how? And what I do is. And then to take that a step further, I like the approach that one of my good friends and one of my mentors, Mark Januszewski, used. He calls it the 54-second presentation, and it goes kind of like this. Is at that point they're going to say, "Well, what is it?" And I would say to them, "Well, I can give you a complete presentation, but it'll take an entire minute. When do you think you'll have a 1 minute of your undivided attention available?" And you know what they'll say? Almost 100% of the time. "Well, how about right now? I want to know what this is." Because you just let them off the hook, sitting through a 5-minute or a 5-hour long, boring, drawn-out meeting. You didn't ask them to go to a meeting. You didn't ask them to watch a video. I could give you a full presentation, but it could take a full minute. When do you think you'd have a minute of your undivided attention available? Well, how about right now? And all you got to do is just three-way them into the 2-minute recorded call. That's a quick way to do it if you don't want to have to say anything. And if you don't have that, in fact, we've got this approach is actually written out word for word at carrotbarstv.com. carrotbarstv.com, and you go to the link at the top, the tab at the top says Strategy to Get Started Fast. And at that page it talks about the strategy to give yourself a 180% pay raise right from day one. Shows you how to do it. And if you're going to work the business, do you want to make a little or a lot? You want to make a lot? This is what you need to do. And for those of you that want to, kind of have a template or a plan laid out where, I have people from time to time ask, well, Joe, what do I got to do to make $5,000? Well, mathematically, what you got to do is you got to get 40 people in your organization that do this, and that'll produce $5,000. What do I got to do to make $10,000, Joe? Get 80 people in your organization that do this, right here. Get started fast strategy. How hard is it to build a 40-person organization? How hard is it to get 80? Well, you define your own success by your own imagination and your own limitations you impose on yourself, because I could tell you, Joe Shoop, Dr. Denis, the list goes on of people that are on this call today have a lot larger organizations than that, but how many of them have done this? Probably not that many, or maybe a significant amount of them. But now that we have this, see, we didn't have this available before. Now we have it. So I just ask people that once you get them to the point where they want to set up an account, then you got to get their why. What seems attractive and appealing about our program to you? Well, is it the asset protection? Is it the hedge against inflation? Because if it's that, you really don't want to, hammer home the money end of this, of the affiliate program. If that's not their why bring it up? But if they do, well, I really like the hedge against inflation. I love that, and I love the fact that I can protect my portfolio, but I really like the affiliate program. I mean, are you kidding me? I can get paid and get free gold just for sharing this with other people. And then at that point, well, all right, great, Bill, that's what I saw too. And the question I want to ask you is, it's important question, is do you want to make a little or a lot? You want to get started fast or slow? And if they say, I want to make a lot and I want to get started fast, then they just created their own template of what they're going to do next. They just told you what they're going to do next. They just don't know what they're going to do, but they just told you what they're going to do, and you're going to show them, all right, then this is what you just said you want to do. Here it is. Do a monthly purchase plan for €500, and make sure you add 3.5% to that. Remember, you're not spending any money. You're just exchanging bad money for good money. With our program, Bill, no one ever spends a dime, not even a penny. You're just exchanging bad money for good money. You still have the money. You still own it. You still control it. But the good news is we get paid really, really well to show people how to do that. Next thing you should do, if you're serious and you want to make a lot, you want to get started fast, is order 3 demo cards. After you do your monthly purchase plan for €500, and by the way, that's just your first month only. That's all you need to do, first month only. Then you need to get some demo cards. If you're out of product, you're out of business, and you need to get some product in your hands. If you do that, that's going to get you started fast. You want to see how that plays out, click on the comp plan video, and then you just scroll down the page, download those account application forms and the instructions for new members, and you scroll on down past the 5 foundational components until you see in red, big bold red, great phrases to strike an interest. And that's where I have gotten written out on there exactly what I just said earlier. If you're around people, just all you got to do to initiate conversation is ask them how do they feel about the economy. Ask them how they feel about the USA being over $15 trillion in debt. And usually those 2 questions right there will get people going. Then you ask, how does that affect you? How does that affect your family? How does that affect your job? Well, what's your plan to stay ahead of inflation? And, let them talk. And they're going to probably not have a plan. Most people don't. Say, well, look, I have something that can help you. And they'll say, what is it? You say, I can give you a complete presentation, but it'll take an entire minute. When do you think you'll have a minute or two where I can give you a presentation? If they say, how about now, then three-way them into the 2-minute call, and there it is. It's written out right for you. Right, 218-844-3182 and the access code. So that's a good, solid, proven way to get people from knowing nothing about this to knowing enough that they want to know more. After the 2-minute sizzle call, they're going to want to know more, I guarantee it. And at that point, you can make a decision. You can send them to a site like carrotbarstv.com, or you can send them to myhelpinghandup.com, or whatever your favorite site that can give them more information. Or what I would advise is three-way them in to someone in your team that knows more than you do about this, and let them finish answering their questions. Because really, you don't have to know anything at all to be successful. All you got to know is what resources you have at your disposal. It's kind of like being a manager of a baseball team. You are the manager. You're the control. But you have players on the bench and in the bullpen. You have a closer. You can send people up to pinch hit anytime you want to. The problem I see, Joe and Dr. Denis, the people, they try to do everything themselves. They try to do too much talking. They try to, what is it? What is it, Joe? What is it? And then they try to tell them what it is. And some people may be able to pull it off, but it's just not duplicatable. What is duplicatable is, so listen, I could give you an entire complete presentation. It'll take an entire minute. When do you think you'll have a minute? They say now, three-way them into the call. Let them listen to it. And at the end, what'd you like best? And then they'll start talking. Well, I really like a hedge against inflation, or I can make money with this. And, oh, great, I can let you. I had those same questions pop into my head when I listened to the call, Bill, and what I'd like to do is I'd like to three-way you in to my good friend Dr. Denis Steigerwald, who can answer all your questions just like he did mine, and I felt much comfortable about setting up a free account with Carrot Bars after I talked to Dr. Denis. Are you open to that? If they say yes, boom, bring in your closer from the bullpen. Dr. Denis Steigerwald, Cy Young Award-winning closing pitcher that will get the job done. So that's my tips for the day. And if anybody has any questions, Joe, we can invite them to hit 5-star. Did we lose Joe?
Okay, nope, I was unmuted on my own phone just so I could not have any. Let's see if we have any. Joe, did you cover the things you wanted to cover?
I didn't, because Dr. Denis just kind of really took us a different direction that I wanted to add some layers to, because it's brilliant. I mean, this is the holiday season. We're around more people than any other season. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
And if your family and friends aren't interested, how can you expect a stranger to be interested? And believe it or not, your family and friends need an account, need a Carrot Bars. They just don't know it. But
right.
You got to have the skill to be able to show it to them without turning them off.
Hubert, your line is unlocked. Say hello to us and address your question. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, John, Joe, and everybody on the call. Great presentation. I have one question. I signed up a few of my family friends, but they are not willing and not able to fund the account right now. All different reasons. You know what happened. How to approach them, or how will I explain them, or get maybe Dr. Denis on the call with them to explain more?
Well, Joe, you can address that if you like, but I mean, what you're saying to me, I can hear you say that you registered them. Is that correct?
Yes, they got registered, yeah.
And they said, we'll fund the account, but we can't do it immediately. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly correct. And we found
I would say
$500. They backed out right away. Just what you suggest, okay? You are very experienced, in this situation.
Look, this is my take on it. What I would do, they're registered with the company, And, it's like anything else. When you go to open a bank account, they make you put money in right away. I'm not sure I would register someone unless they're actually committed to having some type of purchase, period.
I agree.
I don't think I would do that. However, since you've done it, what I would do is this. It's already done. Continue to give them information. Let them know what's happening with the company. Keep them updated. And you can only do one thing. The bottom line is you have to ask for a sale. And I would ask them periodically, do you think you have time to fund your account? Is this the right time now to do that? And I would just keep them updated. If they've done what you've asked them to do, which is register, and then said, well, we're not going to fund, you know what, find the next person that will. That's my opinion. But again, in the future, don't register them like that, in my opinion. Just wait till they say, I'm ready to do that now, so let's get you registered. Having the account and nothing in it means nothing, and banks don't let you do that. You have to deposit something in a bank. We're not a bank. Let me make that clear. We're not a bank, but, to have somebody registered who says I'm not going to do or I can't now, do it when they're ready, in my opinion, Joe. What about you, Dennis? Dennis?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Joe, I had muted myself. So
yep.
Here's the thing. We started with this because people can register. They can generate income by referring others. But when you asked me that question I'm going to go back to my answer. I describe what it is in a heartbeat. I know the best thing to do is direct traffic and all, but at the end of the day, people want to know, what is it? Well, just like I said, it's an international company that makes it possible for the average person to purchase the best quality of gold in the world, which everybody wants, at something that's affordable to them, and by referral, make money. It's that simple, but at the end of the day, the point that Joe Norman was making that's important is there'll be customers. What does that translate into here? Protect your assets. And there'll be entrepreneurs that will grow businesses. What does that translate into here? Doesn't translate to anything. It is what it is. But the steps are the same. There's only one more step to the second party. What are the steps? Register and purchase for the customer. Register, purchase, and refer for the business builder. Period. It's that simple. That's the whole business. Register, purchase, or register, purchase, and refer. No sense registering and referring when you're not going to purchase. It just doesn't. There is no model for that. It was pre-launch. This isn't pre-launch. This is real world stuff. So So I agree with your answer. At the end of the day, from now on, that should be the mantra. Register, purchase for customers. Register, purchase, refer for distributors. How do you refer? Share the tools. And one of the tools is your upline, as Joe Norman was saying, the support team. We're just a tool at this point. So anyway, that would be I think your answer was spot on, and that's where we are now. That's why I'm anxious to hear all the updates coming over this beginning of next, January of 2012. It's so important. We are not in pre-launch anymore. This is a reality, and people are getting money loaded onto their debit cards. I know I am, and they're using it. I know my wife and I are. It's out there. Just do it. And the only way that happens is by that dance. Register, purchase, or register, purchase, and refer. That's what creates the flow that makes all of this happen. I know it's going to get bigger. I know it's bigger than I'm saying it, but that's how we get all the big stuff, is by understanding the simple parts that make it run. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Alrighty, there you go. Let's go to another question here. And that other question, and Hubert, thanks for the question. Your line is now muted. Thank you very much. Hand is lowered. And let's see, we did have another question, but they have disappeared. Don't know where that other question got to, but it's gone. Interesting. Oh, there we go. Hubert is back again with a question. Let's unmute the line. Hubert, you there?
Yeah, thanks, Joe, and thanks, Dr. Denis, for all the information. I know we made some mistakes in the beginning, or not use a different approach, we will change the approach now. We need to tell people it's very important to fund the account. I made this mistake, and I know this. A lot of people in our group, they made the same mistake, or it happened like this, We should change our approach and make sure that people understand and think the new system we're getting with January the 15th will help us a lot to people, that people understand everything, okay? Thank you so much for your information. And a great job you're doing, guys, okay? Thank you.
You're welcome, Hubert. Thank you. I don't know. We go back in time, and companies pre-launch, and that's really where this comes from. No need to go over that again, but in pre-launch, we got people registered, and just go ahead and register for free. We'll fund later. Now it's available to fund. You don't do that. You just register when they're ready. Anyway, let's see. Any other questions here? Joe, were you going to say something? Somebody else has a question, by the way, so here's what we need to do. Area code is 757. Please tell us your first name when your line is unmuted, and ask your question. So good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. Area code 757, ending in 78. Morning.
Hey, how you doing? This is Randy from Chesapeake, Virginia.
Hey, Randy. Welcome.
I just needed that number again, that 2-minute call number. That's all I needed.
Joe, instead of that number, giving the number, why don't you give everybody the place where you can find all of those numbers?
Yeah, that would be nice.
CarrotBarsTV.com. Okay. CarrotBarsTV.com, and it's on the page, the tab at the top. Strategy to get started fast.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome, Randy. Thank you very much for the question. CarrotBarsTV.com, and you will find those answers there. Any other questions? Do we have any other questions? We are at the bottom of the hour, as I say, at 8:31, and we have a few more minutes. So if someone has any questions, any question at all, and I don't see any questions, Joe. So you want some closing thoughts, Dr. Denis? No, you're muted, but I am.
No, what I'd like to do is have Joe Norman, if you would step forward and go. I kind of threw that out there, and we went in a different track, but just updates where we are. There had some things you were going to say, and you sort of got in the way, so I just want to.
No, that's okay. We're already enough well into the call that I really wouldn't like to mix this with that. I think we'll save that for another day, because these statistics aren't going to change, but it certainly lends a strong, compelling reason to be passionate about what we have to offer, because I'm telling you guys what's coming. Some people are calling me, and they're concerned about gold prices. They're going down, our accounts are going down. Okay, yeah, so what? You got to understand.
Good time to buy.
Our product's on sale. And,
exactly.
It's just understanding, and I know a lot of people don't want to take the time to learn all the technical vocabulary of what's happening in the markets with the traders and the hedge funds squaring up their books, and they're having to liquidate their profitable positions, and one of the only profitable positions was all year in gold. And so to square their books at the end of the year, they have to sell their gold and gold positions and gold derivatives to raise the cash to square their books. That's why gold prices are going down. No other reason. You watch. Next year, these fundamentals are going to kick back into place, and they're going to start printing money again because they have to, guys. There's no other alternative. So we're sitting in such a wonderful, wonderful place with the perfect business at the perfect time, with the perfect product, with more coming to the plate. Even if they didn't add anything else, it would just still be the absolute best opportunity that exists. But the fact that they are adding more to it, World Orum's coming on board here in 2 weeks, that's going to be a game changer. We've got KB Success University and KB Television Network, KB TV, streaming online television network, available 24/7, 365. That will be available in 2 weeks. So it's, and I could tell you a lot more too, but I like to build my business on what is, not on what is coming in the future. That's called futuring. And what we have right now is, I believe, the absolute best opportunity that exists. So I think the last thing that I would like to say before I take off here, I have to leave here in about 10 minutes to go to the airport, take my daughter, but I think it's very important that we learn how to properly strike an interest by asking the right questions. And then if you've been successful and they have an interest and they want to know more, knowing what resources to use. 2-Minute Call, carrotbarstv.com, My Helping Hand. There's all kinds of arrows in the quiver that you can pull out and shoot. And once you shoot them, I've joked around for months and still do from time to time by saying if they have enough financial intelligence to blow the fuzz off a peanut, they're going to be interested. If you do it the right way. But if you try to puke on them and tell them a half-hour, 30-minute dissertation on Carrot Bars International and the management team and the leaders and the comp plan and blah, 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 I wouldn't be interested either. But use the tools, use the strategies, and then when they get to a point where they want to know more, they have questions, then you need to three-way them in to someone that knows more than you do and let them answer their questions. Because what I like to do on a three-way call is at the end when they say, well, gosh, Dr. Denis and Joe, this really sounds good. I think, yeah, go ahead. I'd like to set up an account. I like to remind them, look, what we just did was a three-way call, and my question to you is on this call, once Dr. Denis on the phone, what did I add to the conversation? And the prospect that's soon to become an affiliate will say, well, you didn't add anything, Joe. You were just listening. And I say, that's right. Do you think you can do that? And just pause, and it'll click in their brain. Oh, you mean, so you mean Dr. Denis, would that be okay with you if I three-way people in, and you do that for me too? And Dr. Denis, absolutely, that's what we're here for. The problem is people try to do too much themselves, and I also think it's very, very important to understand their why. And I think Hubert, if possibly, you had those to do over again and would have gotten their reason why. And if the reason why is I'm concerned about my portfolio, and it sounds to me like that's not the case. It sounds to me like the case is more they wanted to be an affiliate and make money. And if that's the case, then you just ask, hey, do you want to make a little or do you want to make a lot? Do you want to get started fast or get started slow? And if they say I want to make a lot and I want to get started fast, then we got them. We got them right where they need to be. And it's not like we're ever going to ask them to spend any money. That's not the point. That's not what we're doing. We're not spending any money. We're just exchanging bad money for good money. And if you're willing to do that with 500 euros or $650 your very first month, if you're able to do that, they're going to give you a 180% pay raise. That's called getting started fast. That's called making a lot and not a little. So just use this stuff, the strategy to get started fast tab at carrotbarstv.com has all this listed out, word for word, where you can memorize it, learn it, use it on others, and you'll not be disappointed. Back to you, Joe, and I've got to bug out, and we'll talk to you guys all later.
All right, well, for Dr. Denis Steigerwald and Joe Norman, this is Joe Shoop. Have a wonderful, wonderful day and a great new year. We'll see you next Tuesday on the Breakfast Club at 11 a.m. Eastern. Have a fun day, everybody.